Good morning. Welcome to 365 Days of Richer Living, daily morning reading, meditation, and prayer time. This is actually the book we're using, 365 Days of Richer Living. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at Columbia Center for Spiritual Living in Columbia, Maryland. Today is April 7th. In the midst of me is the light of my world, and I let that light shine. And he's continuing with portions of Psalm 23 as the scriptural reference for the day. And this morning is Psalms 23, verse 3, for his name's sake. I accept my divine destiny. I accept that God has planned for me. I know that there is a pattern for good for my life. This is true because the infinite mind has arranged it this way. God acts by means of humanity. God knows what humanity should be, and I am that human whom God has made in its own image and likeness. Unto me is given the unlimited possibilities of good, because the divine mind acts through me. As I live rightly, think greatly, and love largely, I am a joy to God and a blessing to humanity. I do this for God's namesake. I realize that to this end I was born. For this cause came I into the world, to bear witness to the truth. God in me is impelling me to right action. God in me is inspiring my thought with right ideas. I am alive in this holy presence. I refuse to believe that I am flesh and blood subject to the whims of fate. I refuse, I arise in my divine selfhood and see that God alone rules my mind and heart. The one mind thinks as me. The one love loves by means of me. I am the spiritual activity of a power which knows that it is doing and knows how to do it. In the hands of omniscience, I rest in the full assurance of my eternal good. In the midst of me is the light of my world, and I let that light shine. It created me in order to act through me. I recognize my responsibility to do this for God today. I know that as I do it, the whole of God is backing me up, and the law of God is producing my good. My present is filled with good. My future is secure in greater good. For God is on my pathway, and I cannot fail. So let's take that into our time of meditation and contemplation. There is only one substance, one source. We call it mind. We call it God. We call it Buddha. We call it Allah. We call it love. We call it life. We call it power. We call it presence. We call it peace. We call it many, many things. Recognizing it, relating to it, speaking about it, to understand it. And yet, no one name is sufficient to speak of all that it is. It is the unnameable. It is the unlimitable. It is that changeless that changes expression without changing what it is. It is within and around. It is through and as every element of creation, and all that physical form is held within. It creates, it manifests, it incarnates itself in form, in points of creation, to expand its experience of itself. It infuses, it empowers its creation with free will, with choice, unencumbered choice. It creates anew through us. And yet its idea, its original idea, always active, always moving itself forward within its creation. I am a point of creative activity. The mind of God is my mind. The creative authority that lives within me is the very creative authority of God itself. And so I stand on that agency with full awareness that every thought is a thought in the mind of the infinite, that every thought is received and acted upon by the activity of creation. And I am intentional and purposeful in creating in alignment with the truth of my being, which is the truth of all being, because what is true of one is true of all made of the same essence, all made in the same image and likeness. And so God's image must be diverse, because it certainly creates in diversity. It is the likeness of God, the wholeness of God, to be like God, to be loving like God, to be open like God, to be present like God. I surrender myself to the likeness of God, to be peace like God, to love like God. And as I allow that to sink in to the human awareness, I just allow myself to breathe into the enormity, recognizing that more than enormous, it is simply the norm of spirit. And so I release any thought that it is too big to achieve. I release any thought that would impede the fullest expression of God as right where I am. I step fully into the reality of my being with the same unrestricted flow in which I am created. I surrender. I stop fighting the currents and I flow. I allow law to unfold life perfectly as me, holding steadfast my thought, my intention, my desires, knowing with absolute faith that more than achievable, they are already achieved. It's already done. It is only my resistance that delays my experience of it. And so I release all resistance. I say yes, yes to life, yes. Grateful to know that law, the activity of creation, has already acted upon it, has already made it so. And so I simply step into the time and space in this human realm of its unfolding, allowing my steps and my activities and my thoughts, feelings to be guided and guarded one step at a time as I unfold as perfect life. I let go. I let God be God as me. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is.